I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
Hey everyone, thanks for hanging with us as we had a few scheduling conflicts there for a couple weeks. We're back and we're really excited about tonight. Another one of our legacy businesses in Chillicothe is Allen's Pharmacy, and the sort of like south central part of Chillicothe, just off of Bridge Street there, and we're excited to have Kevin and WJ from Allen's on with us today. Talk about legacy, talk about what drew both of them back to Chillicothe, how it was completely different when they came back, and what it's like to own that kind of legacy business and figure out what the future of that business looks like moving forward. So we hope you enjoy this conversation with Kevin Allen and Winston Corzine from Allen's Pharmacy. Well, let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah,
How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we're here tonight with Kevin Allen and Winston Corzine. I never call him Winston.
That's hard, isn't it?
It's Dub J, other names that we won't repeat on a family show. But they are the brainchild of Allen's Pharmacy, AKA my drug dealers.
Legal.
Yeah, legal drug dealers. I should have thrown that in there first.
I don't think
But
anybody has ever called us brain children before.
No,
WJ's smart. He's got all those letters after his name.
he's a doctor.
So, yeah,
just a couple. Nothing special.
And he went to UC, so really, who knows if that was?
Yeah.
That's what my dad says all the
They
time.
might have gotten that, from like, hey, you're on your way out, so we got you this one. Pick one of these degrees out of this set of sleeves here. So, but well, welcome guys. Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
So, my first question is Allen's the oldest continuing operating pharmacy in Chillicothe?
In Chillicothe, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, what year was it founded?
1941
Yeah.
was the year it was founded. I don't know if you want me to go into the history.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
my grandfather, Gilbert Allen, people call him Gib, was from Laurelville, Ohio. Went to Ohio State University for pharmacy school. Got a job working at a pharmacy in Columbus for $25 a week. So,
Which is about what WJ makes right now.
well, we pay him a little bit more than that. It depends on what he does week to week.
Well,
so,
let's not base it on
sometimes
that,
they call him
'cause-
W Doolittle, and we don't pay him much. But anyway, so working in Columbus at a pharmacy, then he gets a job offer down here for $27.50 a week. So graduates from pharmacy school at Ohio State, June 1940. Comes directly here to work at a drugstore called Adams Drug that is at the corner of Main and Brownell. A guy named John Adams owns it. He is an officer in the Army, I think stationed at Camp Sherman. His time's coming up in the Army. He wants to leave. So looking for somebody to sell it to. My grandpa's his pharmacist, so logical choice there. Offers to sell him the pharmacy for $2,500, which you're making $27.50 a week. And he said he came to Chillicothe with less than $5 in his pocket.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
he works for the guy he's 23 at this point in 1941. Buys the pharmacy June 1941. Operates that at Main and Brownell for 8 years. I'm getting choked up. I get choked up when I talk about the pharmacy.
I understand.
I'm pretty passionate about it.
Yeah.
So operates the pharmacy at Main and Brownell for 8 years. His father-in-law, my grandmother worked for him, came to work for him at 16 at the pharmacy at Main and Brownell. I think 3 years later, they got married when she was 19. Her father, Leo Kellhofer, who was a plumber in Chillicothe, she's from Chillicothe, native Chillicothian. My grandfather, Leo, finds the building at Eastern and Clay and said, they want to start a family. He knows that. Says, plenty of room in this building. Come take a look at it. So he starts renting it. Signed the lease to rent it in December 1947. January 1948, they're moved in. So family lives upstairs, pharmacy's downstairs. I think he put in a soda fountain shortly after that. So he's running that. He's running the pharmacy at Main and Brownell for a period of years. At some point, he hooks up with Zeb Ginther. I don't know if you guys know who Zeb is.
I know Zeb.
And they are thick as thieves from everybody's account, basically, getting into all kinds of stuff. So ends up, eventually, he's running 2 pharmacies, starting a young family. That's a little bit much. He sells the store at Main and Brownell to Zeb. It becomes Ginther's cut rate for many years. And a lot of people think that was a drugstore. It was not. People would drop off prescriptions to Zeb, and my grandfather would come get those, fill them at his pharmacy, and bring them back.
Wow.
Which is illegal now. You can't.
Right.
So that stopped after a while, and we've been at our present location ever since.
Wow. Now, what year was that again?
That he bought this
Yeah,
where
that
we're
he
at
actually-
now. January 1948 was
Wow,
when he actually
okay.
moved into the store we're at now.
Wow.
So we've been there for a little while.
Yeah.
And stuff's moved. The fountain was not where it is now. The soda fountain used to be where the pharmacy counter is.
Okay.
The pharmacy was in a room in the back.
It looks like WJ is just learning some of this information.
Yeah, some of this is new. That's actually why I came with him, was to learn some history.
That's good. Okay, you stop talking now.
Yeah.
Kevin's much more interesting. Okay.
Right.
WJ and I are friends, so like this is going to be a weird
Yeah.
experience for all of you
The whole time.
that are listening. I'm telling you right now.
If you're in the pharmacy, you'll see 2 old buzzers. It looks like an old doorbell. It's gold each side. So he used to actually sit and eat dinner with the family at the house back there, and somebody would come and buzz if he had a prescription to fill. And they had a code, like 1 was somebody came in just for out front stuff. He didn't need to come over. 2 was you had to fill a prescription, come over. 4 was a salesman, so he wouldn't come over, basically.
And if there was no buzzer, you just heard screams. That was a problem, right? Like,
Sure, yeah, right, yeah. So, and I asked my dad, I said, how was he able to operate 2 pharmacies across town at the same time? And he basically said, well, back then, their business was not really filling prescriptions. When you went to the doctor, you typically get your medicine from the doctor. Yeah. So you would just go to the pharmacy for stuff that their doctor didn't have, or, other sundry. It was kind of a general store.
Yeah,
out front.
right.
So they would have grocery items and just all kinds of staples that people in the neighborhood would need. And at that time, there was no Bridge Street behind us.
Right.
There was no Main Street overpass. So, it was just neighborhood from his pharmacy on Eastern Avenue to his pharmacy on Main Street. So you could easily walk that through that neighborhood. So, but my dad's got a prescription file, which is basically a metal box. We have to keep all the hard copies of prescriptions because it's state law. My dad's got the file from the year he was born, 1954. The whole year fits in 1 box. Those boxes, now it's 2 days worth of prescriptions in those boxes, the business we do now. So, that tells you how much it's changed.
Yeah.
Now we probably, $2,500, which is what my grandpa paid for the store, is a very slow day, I would say.
Right.
At Allen's Pharmacy. So,
Yeah.
It's funny how times have changed, but how much the stores stayed the same largely over the years, outside of the soda fountain moving and kind of stuff like that. So,
from a pharmacy standpoint, like there's so much more. Yeah, the dogs.
Yes.
We'll get the dogs
every week.
Every week.
Well,
I like
the
it.
dogs.
Yeah.
You've got. There's so much more medicine today than there was back then. So it doesn't surprise me that doctors are prescribing, other things. They have more at their disposal to help people with pain management and allergies, and the list goes on for ailments.
Sure.
But I would say that that's a big change in that. In your store, and how it's changed over the years is a lot to just have different things to offer.
Yes. Yep.
Did you grow up working in the store?
I started working in the store when I was 14.
Okay.
Basically, my dad said, if you guys want cars or you want to drive, you're going to come work in the store, and you're going to pay for your insurance and half your car. So my first car was half of what I could afford from the pharmacy.
Right.
1983 Chevy Camaro.
All right.
Metallic brown with brown vinyl seats. It was lovely.
Yeah.
But that's not That's not a bad thing, though. You probably enjoyed working in the pharmacy.
Yeah. I loved working there. I actually, when I started working there, he put me out at the soda fountain, obviously, because that's kind of where everybody starts. That's probably
that's where I started. Yep.
They caught you stealing Tootsie Rolls.
By your brother's Pat account.
That's not really what happened. But no,
that's not a real thing, is it?
No, it's not. So everybody kind of starts working at the fountain. And I was lucky enough when I started working there, Betty Billmeyer, who worked behind the fountain for, I think, 50 years, was at the end of her days there and kind of trained me how to make, all the old soda fountain recipes, like a soda, stuff nobody orders now, basically. Yeah. Some people come in and say, what's an ice cream soda? You explain it to them like it's soda water or some flavoring and ice cream. Like, oh, yeah, I don't want that. So,
but it's actually really good. It's actually really good.
Idea what they're missing out on.
Yeah, nope. For sure. Yeah.
Milkshakes, though. Milkshakes, you guys have great milkshakes.
Yeah, we sell a lot of those.
That's probably the reason why I'm on metformin right now. But
it's a great business plan, right? We give you diabetes and then we give you medicine to help you with it.
So your dad starts working at the pharmacy when?
I believe he started when he was a kid too. I lived upstairs, so they actually would make Easter baskets for Easter, like Christmas baskets, stuff like that, and they would have to like assemble the baskets. So basically, there would be like sample Easter baskets, and you'd come in and say, "I want that one," and they'd like write your name on the chocolate eggs or stuff like that. So they use the kids to like assemble stuff and like do stuff in the pharmacy before child labor laws said,
sure,
you can't make.
Which brings us to another thing that's changed.
So much has changed. So he started working at a young age. I want to say he officially started working in there at 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So he was young as well.
Yeah.
And has been there. His only time away from there has been at pharmacy school at Ohio State. And I think he did an internship at a pharmacy in Columbus.
And he had that one summer where he worked for the city.
Yeah, he worked for the city. I think picking up roadkill and trash and all that stuff. Yeah.
Everybody needs one of those kind of jobs.
I think that's his favorite job so far. He talks about it all the time. Like, I used to be a garbage man. It's great. It's the greatest job of my life.
I mean, it was different, right?
Yeah. And there's guys that work with him that come in the pharmacy still like, hey, Steve, like people tell me, I can't remember what they used to call him on the city.
Oh, that I'm curious to know that one.
That either.
I'll have to figure it out.
Like Gator. Like it was, hey, Gator.
Now we know
it's
why
something you would not expect. I wish I could remember.
Well, Gator is definitely something I wouldn't expect, but it's probably something different. And so now I'm thrown off by the Gator thing. And it was my thing.
Yeah, it's your fault. It's all your fault.
So he goes to pharmacy school, graduates, he spends the summer picking up roadkill, and then he's back.
Yeah.
And so then he's actually running them in the pharmacy with your
he graduated
right?
from pharmacy school at Ohio State in 1977 and then came back shortly thereafter, I think, to work as a pharmacist at the pharmacy, and then actually bought the pharmacy from my grandpa in '83.
Okay,
so
83.
Yeah, so wow, he's owned it for almost 40 some years.
Yeah.
Then I mean, just own it outright.
Yeah,
that's amazing to even think about. Like
it is. Yeah.
And then when you look back, for 60 some, 70 some years, like that's fascinating.
And he's still going strong too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, every time I go in there, I always think like, man, he's going to retire? I don't feel like he.
Well, that's why I'm here,
right?
So I came here 5 years ago.
Yeah,
because he was going to retire in a couple years.
Yeah,
and was worried, so I came up here, dropped what I was doing, and came up here.
Yeah,
because I lived down in Cincinnati for 20 years.
Yeah,
after high school here, I was one of the guys that was the time when you had to get out of Chillicothe,
right,
for your own good. So
yeah,
sure. I did that.
Your sanity.
You're right. Yeah. Love Cincinnati. Was down there for a long time. And then he was having hearing problems for a long time. He couldn't get hearing aids that worked. And in that business, he's answering the phone hundreds of times a day.
Yes.
People are talking to him and he can't hear them. And then, so he wanted to retire, came to me and said, I want somebody to take over the business when I'm done. So it took him a couple times asking me. It didn't really sink in. I was kind of like, I don't want to move back to Chillicothe. I'm doing my own thing here. I'm doing really well. And then I think he seemed worried to me at a point about his hearing, and like he needed to be done. So I came up here, and then like a year later, he found a doctor in Columbus and has these amazing hearing aids and no problems now, basically.
Yeah.
Like, he has no problems hearing at all. I remember before you would have to say things to him 2 and 3 times or yell at him, like, and he does great now.
Yeah, he does.
So it kind of gave him a resurgence in the career.
Yeah. Which is great for me, like I came up here with the thought that I was going to take over the pharmacy in a couple of years. Here we are 5 years later, and I still get to work with him every day, which I think is amazing, who knows how much time I have with them. So at this point, you just kind of have to cherish every day you have in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. So,
and you did not take the pharmacy path. We talked about it like for a little quick minute before, and you said there was a kind of a good reason. Your dad actually kind of talked you
steered me away from it. Yeah. So I was out of high school. I was originally going to go to Rutgers to go to pharmacy school was my plan. And my dad kind of got wind of that and was like, I was in National Art Honor Society in high school, real like visual arts guy, did real bad in math and science. So he was like, don't do that. It's going to be horrible. You won't enjoy it.
Sounds like you and I
all.
are kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Like
I listened to him on that
visual
one.
arts guy. So
right. Yeah.
But math and science, not my strong suit.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't listen to him a lot, but I took his advice on that one. And I'm actually one of the few people that I know that I did not get into Ohio State University when I applied.
Okay.
That's a funny story too. I graduated from CHS in 97. Somehow my guidance counselor put the wrong transcript in my application to Ohio State University. And it was a person with a very similar last name to mine who was a way worse student than I was. And this was when Ohio State would just pretty much like you had to turn in your paperwork and they would welcome you with open arms, basically. So that's how I ended up in Cincinnati. I went to UC, started out at UC because they had a really good visual arts program there. The DAT program's amazing.
That program.
So went there for graphic design. Found out I did not like it there. It's so competitive in the DAT program. It's just so stressful. So I ended up going to Northern Kentucky University in Highland Heights, like 10 minutes south, and graduated from there with a graphic design and marketing degree. So here we are.
So then what do you do after you get out of school then?
I went and did graphic design for a little while and discovered I absolutely hate that, just with a passion. I like doing graphic design on my own terms.
Right.
I don't like doing it when somebody comes in and says, I want this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Because usually that's not what they want. Like you show them, this is exactly what you asked me for, and you show them to them, and they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's like,
Then they say, no, I wanted it this way.
yeah.
And you're like,
And cheaper.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it should have been done 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So
Oh,
I was done with that. So then I was going to do anything at that point. I was like, I don't care. I don't want to do graphic design. I don't know what I'm going to do. There was a point I was working at UPS as a supervisor overnight from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then from there, I would go to a hospital system called TriHealth in Cincinnati. I would do registration. And I would do registration for like 8 hours. And then I would go home and go to sleep for maybe 5 hours. And then I would go valet at Newport on the Levee for 7-8 hours. Wow. And then do it all over again.
yeah.
I had no time to spend any of the money I was making at these 3 shows. So I was just doing that grind for a few years. And then I became a lead valet at the Levee. And then they kind of saw I was kind of busting my hump for them. And I became assistant operations manager and then operations manager. And then I had 3 garages and a valet operation and a shuttle operation I was running when my dad said, hey, why don't you come out?
Yeah. So what kind of, was that an easy decision for you or?
To come home?
Yeah.
That was not an easy decision. No, it was weird timing. I was going through a divorce at the time. So I was coming home every weekend because they have a farm outside of Frankfurt. Mm-hmm. So I was coming home every weekend, going through a divorce, coming home, just kind of clear my head, be outside, go camping,
Sure.
So we'd be camping and relaxing, and they'd just keep dropping hints like, you should move home and run the pharmacy. You should move home and run the pharmacy. So it's not sinking in. It's not sinking in. And then they say it, like I see some urgency in my dad. So then I'm like, well, okay, I think I need to go home now. So And that was not, I was driving from Fort Thomas, Kentucky for the first year.
Oh, wow.
I worked at the pharmacy.
You had a heck of a commute.
Year and a half, actually, I think.
Yeah.
So November 2016 is when I actually came back to work at the pharmacy. And, I'm driving 4 hours every day when I work. So, and it wasn't what I expected to come here too.
Right.
I was in a pretty fast-paced job, and that was the first thing I said to him, like, Dad, I'm going to be bored if I come back. And he laughed so hard when I said, I'm going to be bored if I work at the pharmacy. And I was like, why is he laughing at me? I don't understand it. Like, I understand it now working at the pharmacy every day. Like, you can't hardly eat lunch some days. And
when you left in 97?
Yeah, we were not doing the volume.
This is 20 years later almost, right? So like,
I think when I left, we were probably averaging about maybe 300 prescriptions a day.
Yeah.
We're currently somewhere between 700 and 800 prescriptions a day.
Yeah.
So double the volume from when I left 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, not bored at all. So, but I was like, when I first came back, it was weird because it's not what I expected. I was driving 4 hours. I was in my head all 4 hours. Like if I had a bad day that day, I was just, running over and over it again. So I think when I got back here, things kind of lightened up a little bit. I'm still torn. Like there was a while when I moved back here where I was going to move back to Cincinnati because I have a son in Northern Kentucky that I don't get to see very often now that I'm up here. So it's like, I need to at least move halfway, like Washington Courthouse, somewhere in there. Maybe down to Cincinnati. I'll just drive up here every day so I can see him more. Yeah. I have a 1-year-old now, so I'm too busy to think about that a lot of the time. So, but now that I'm close, I'm 10 minutes away now. Yeah. So it makes it a lot easier. And our relationship, I think, with my dad's changed too since I'm back here now, and he knows I'm not going anywhere now. I think there was still that time period where I was like, I might go back to Cincinnati, where he was like, I seemed unsure and he seemed unsure in our relationship. So, but
I can understand that from him though, because he's looking at this legacy business and how does it move forward, and does he have to make a decision on, do I sell it to somebody else or does the family continue it on? So. So I could see where that would be tough for him. Sure. Yeah. And
my thing was always, if there's something I can do about it, I'm not going to let the pharmacy go out of business, and I'm not going to let it go, to somebody that's going to just sell it to a chain, basically. So he asked, and here I am. Yeah. So,
and I mean, there are tons of chain pharmacies, but you guys are an independent pharmacy. Yeah. Take great pride in that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And there's a few of them in Ross County, but at the same time, like there's not that many.
No, there's not.
You look around, for every chain pharmacy, there's probably 2 locations of that chain pharmacy in town.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of competition, and they can, of course, spend a lot more money on marketing, a lot more money on other things. And, I would imagine you guys have found your niche, and you're not going to sit around and worry about, they're going to spend $1 million on marketing for that chain. You're going to find your niche and know that, be confident in what you're doing,
I think there were 14 independent pharmacies when my grandpa bought the pharmacy originally. Oh, yeah. But I'll get calls from people, advertisers now, and they want us, to spend advertising dollars with them. He's laughing. I get these calls all the time, and they're like, well, and I just say, like, that's not in our advertising budget. Well, what's your advertising budget? 0. Well, how are you in business if you don't advertise? It's like, we're doing fine, honestly. Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. And they, like, these advertisers cannot wrap their head around it.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll advertise. I advertise locally with schools, like if the volleyball team at CHS needs, is advertising, we'll advertise with them. But it's like when they contract with another company and they're getting half the money, we typically steer clear of those kind of situations. So.
Yeah. It's funny. I get that same call for Kingston National Bank all the time, and I'm telling schools to stop using those companies because I would gladly donate to the cause if I'm going directly, and I know they're getting 100% of the money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The number of times I get the T-shirt call. Oh, yeah. We're doing T-shirts for the football team. I'm like, no. I mean, it's awful.
We get the conference volleyball tournament calls too. Like, well, CHS is in the conference volleyball tournament. Well, that's great, but what happens when they're eliminated in the first round?
Right. Yeah.
I have Go Cavs real big on your advertising banner. So.
Well, I made my decision on where to take my pharmacy business based on who you hire. And I decided to still go to Allen's.
We appreciate that.
You hired
in
Winston.
spite of the circumstances.
Yes. So despite that you hired Winston and had Joey McFadden working there. So
we appreciate that, Mike. We know you've gone through a lot.
I have every time I go in.
It took a lot of begging to get Mike to come over to.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, to come over to
I
us.
enjoy him coming in and giving you a hard time.
Oh,
every time he comes to the store.
there's not anybody in our business that doesn't like seeing me get given a hard time.
I don't know why he likes working there. He gets hazed every single day he comes into work.
I'm Steve's whipping boy. Is what it is.
Indeed, you are.
So are you still the low person on the pecking order there? I guess Sally's had less time there.
Yeah. So, in terms of how long I've been a pharmacist, yes.
Right.
But in terms of working at Allen's, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been at Allen's now for 12 years.
Yeah.
Good
gracious. That's right, because you came back right when we moved downtown. So
yeah, because I started working there as my junior year, going into my senior year of high school that summer.
Yep.
I had this idea that I wanted to be a pharmacist since probably about 8th grade. I was good in math and science, and I decided that I needed to get a little bit of experience before deciding that that's truly what I wanted to do. So my mom and I went in there one day and asked Steve if there was any hiring by chance, and
he said yes, but not for him.
I think at first we were talking. My mom and I were talking about this not long ago. I think at first he said not at this time, but then a little bit of time went by and he called my mom and said, "Yeah, we'll have WJ come back and work." So I started off at the soda fountain, like Kevin said. That's where everybody starts. And I caught on quick enough. He brought me back to the pharmacy, and that's where I've been ever since. And that's what made me want to go to pharmacy school. If Steve hadn't hired me, I'd honestly have no idea where I would be right now, what I'd be doing.
Because you wanted to be back here.
Yeah, I feel like it's very important to get young adults back here as much as possible, any way we can. And I knew that I wanted to come back here. I approached Steve, I think it was after my first year of pharmacy school, about coming back and being hired on as a pharmacist after I graduated. And I was lucky enough that the business was going in the right direction, and it looked like we were going to be needing to hire another pharmacist, that he held a spot for me until after I graduated, and I'm super, super thankful for that. And yeah.
I think he and Joe kind of threw up roadblocks in your way too, just to make sure that you really truly wanted to be a pharmacist.
The big joke is always, when it's a rough day in there, sure you don't want to go to dental school, or sure you don't want to do this.
But
instead.
I've heard him talk about, like we made it hard on WJ just to make sure like this is truly what he wanted to do. But I mean, he wanted to from a young age. So.
Yeah. There was a day. One of my favorite stories is it snowed a boatload here one time, and I mean it was shut down snow, like 6 inches, and the only ones that could make it to the pharmacy that day, I was still in high school. It was my senior year. It was sometime during that winter, so 2008. It snowed a bunch. Only Steve and Joe could make it in. I get a call, school's canceled. Hey, can you by chance walk over? Because I was still living on Fifth Street at the time with my parents. And can you come in and run the registers? Joe and I will handle the pharmacy. And so, I walked over and worked that day, just the three of us. I think we had maybe a total of 20 customers come in the store that day. But it's just one of those experiences that you hold on to and really enjoy. We were still making the chest rub at the time. So I've made like 18 bottles of chest rub that day because nobody was in the store. And it was just a good experience.
Yeah, those are fun stories, because I had a similar thing happen one time early in when I worked at Kingston National Bank the first time there, where we had a snow day and nobody could get in, and there were like 3 of us running the entire bank, and like you felt so accomplished by the end of the day because you're like, wow, we survived that.
We did that.
We did that. So that's cool. Feels like home. We'll be right back. From talking to neighbors to connecting to the world, Horizon's internet, digital TV, phone, and security services are all that you need. At Horizon, they have been keeping the residents and businesses of Southern Ohio in touch with their world for over 120 years. And just as the world of communication has changed during that time, so has Horizon. Today, they are your best source to get the services you need to keep your home and business connected to the world around you and beyond. To learn more, go to horizonconnects.com. And now we're back.
I know that the community is very important to both of you. And you came back and you said when you left, it was like a place you walked away from.
Oh, yeah, for
sure. You came back to a completely different place.
Yeah, indeed.
And how was that a draw for you to sort of come back and kind of make it? I mean, obviously you were making a decision based on family and the legacy of your business, but it's a little easier when the place is kind of on the upswing rather than
indeed. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah. When we first actually moved back to town, it's funny. We had our 20-year class reunion at the poorhouse shortly after I moved back to town. And it was like, wow, this place is pretty cool. You know, this is a lot like the places in Cincinnati and like over the Rhine and places like that. So, I mean, I there's things about Cincinnati I still dearly miss, living there, obviously. But yes, like places like the poorhouse, our kitchen, you know, all the people doing the stuff they were doing downtown when I came back was an immense help for kind of easing me into my transition back into small town life, if you will. Yeah. So
it didn't feel like as small of a town as when you left, I'm sure.
No, not at all. Yeah. There was so many things downtown. I mean, it was almost a ghost town downtown when I left. I mean, there was bars and stuff like that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I got here in '97, and I remember what it was like downtown. A lot of the bars that were down there, some of them you definitely didn't want to go into.
Sure, yeah.
weren't sure if you're going to come out of them, at least upright.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you know, I do remember that distinctly. I remember sort of like the dock being the first one.
Yeah.
You know, the Cross Keys has always been sort of the mainstay on Main Street, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Then I remember when the dock came in, I was like, oh, that's a different approach. Like, that'll be interesting to see how that does. And it did well for a while, and then you see a couple other things come, and the next thing you know, after the Carlisle gets done, then everything goes up, right?
Yeah, so I mean, that was awesome to watch all that.
And you kind of came back to the same thing, which is you left town for a while, were gone. You were coming back during the summers, but you were, you came back to a completely different town, I think, right?
Yeah, I
your mom had the coffee shop when you were in high school, maybe at the tail end.
That was. I'm probably going to butcher this, and she'll kill me if I do.
I love it. I already love it already.
Yeah, it was like 07 or 08 is when she bought.
Yeah, something around that time.
Bought Schlegel's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Watching my mom help try to get downtown booming again. That I just knew that coming back here is what I wanted to do and what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And hopefully was going to set an example for other adults my age that are not sure what they want to do, where they want to go. Chillicothe's not that bad of a place to come back to.
Yeah.
It really is.
Your wife is from here too. And so did she fall in love with Cincinnati and it was reluctance to come back?
Oh yeah. We both, like, if we could have Chillicothe and Cincinnati, we'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But we don't. And we love coming back here. We miss Cincinnati, but it's where both of our families are. It's where we want to put our roots down. And I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family, we're big fans of Cincinnati as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's our day trip.
Yep.
As much as we go to Columbus, we go to Cincinnati. We love to go to the Reds games. My daughter Caroline, when she's coming back to go to UC for her master's. And
nice.
And so like, we love going down there. We have friends. One of my best friends lives in Fort Thomas. Nice. He and his wife, and it's such a neat community. They have so many things going on, but it's amazing how you start recognizing, like, people here want to create those same things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like, when we talk on this podcast, we talk to people all the time that have a similar story. And I'm thinking Andy Tomlinson's story. Yours is very similar. He left, and his dad was the reason why he came back, and then he doesn't regret it. He loves being in this community, and it's cool to see you guys have had your time away and then recognize how special we kind of have it here in Chillicothe.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important is you need to leave here for a little bit, and then it kind of makes you grasp, what you have here and what you can come back to and what you can do here. It's not all glum like everybody tries to paint it out to be sometimes. This is a great place to be and a great place to raise families. And
I like to tell people that a lot of the stuff that we get picked on, people act like it's something that doesn't happen anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, and then you start saying, well, okay, what don't you like? And they'll say this thing or that thing. I mean, I've lived downtown for 12 years. I bet I can tell you, I know exactly. It's probably 6 times I've ever locked all my doors.
Yeah.
Now, that's probably weird to a lot of people. I get that. But I've always felt safe living in downtown Chillicothe. I've lived in Story Place. I lived on Plyley's Lane for a while. So like I feel like I haven't lived everywhere in the town, but I feel like if I felt unsafe, I would lock my doors. And I don't feel unsafe.
Yeah.
So
we wake up all the time and our doors unlocked. It's like, oops. In Cincinnati, we would leave all the lights on, the TV as loud as you could, so it sounded like somebody was in there.
Right.
So, it's completely different. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think in a small town, little things get magnified. So, like if somebody, I know that last week there was somebody was found dead in a hotel on the east side. And that was like a big rumble across the community. I'm like, people die sometimes in hotels. It's not a common thing, but it does happen.
Yeah.
But everybody's freaking out, and then it was natural causes. So like you got to kind of tamp down the rumor before it gets to be too big, because these things happen. Well,
that's the reaction I got when I told my colleagues I was coming back here was, they saw Chillicothe on TV,
right?
And it was the Missing Women documentary.
Yep.
So they're like, "What are you doing?" It's like it'll be I promise. Like, So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get paid to promote the town, so like, I always tell people, if you don't want to believe me, go around and talk to people.
Right.
I mean, they'll tell you. I don't even need to tell you who to go talk to. You just go find somebody.
Yeah. This is one of the few small towns I've been in where, people didn't like what they saw downtown, so they were the change they wanted to see, basically. And that's probably cliche, but you don't see this everywhere. Honestly, you really don't. Like, you go through all the small towns you can from here to Maysville, How many of them look like this?
Yeah.
Very few.
Right.
Well, I was at a chamber conference last week, and when I told people where I was from, they were like, "Oh, hey, yeah, we've heard of you guys. You guys got that 50 West came there?" I was like, "Yeah, they built a brewery downtown." And they're like, "And I heard you got like another brewery and maybe another one on the way." I'm like, "Oh, maybe you know more than I do, but I know there is another one down there." So, that people have heard about us now, and not for bad things. Right. They've heard about us for good things.
Yep.
And that's always...
I feel bad. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in right now because I have a 1-year-old, and I feel like we're constantly just keeping him safe because he's a danger to himself at this point. But
it doesn't get any better.
Yeah, it's so cool to see what Jamie Sharp at Rivers Bend's doing with the bike ride, and AJ Good is doing. It's so cool watching what all those guys do. And I promise I'm going to help one of these days when my kid can take care of himself.
Well, you'll be going on that bike ride with him.
Yeah, that's right.
We've already talked about it for next year. Like we didn't have bikes.
Yeah,
we don't own bikes right now.
I've got no excuse because my sister works for a bicycle company selling bikes.
There you go. So maybe you can help me get a bike.
Yeah.
It really comes down to I tell people this all the time. You make time for what's important, and if you can bring your family along with you on the things that are important, then wow. I mean, that's the perfect mesh of things. So I did the bike ride by myself the one night I did it, but as soon as I went on it, I was like, oh man, Walker would dig this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I know Kels would like it. Now we got to figure out what to do with the little girls. All right, maybe they can come along. Maybe, your wheels start turning. You figure out how to get things done, right? Because it's important, and I think those types of things that build a community. And again, you don't see big rides like that in a lot lot of places,
They don't.
And the attention that it's gotten, I mean, Giant Bicycles posted on their Instagram story and their Instagram account, about Chillicothe and this bike ride and how cool it was and how important it was to the community. And, that seems like such a small thing, but man, from the outside looking in, we have lots of people going, gosh, we want what Chillicothe's got right now. Yeah. How do we make that happen here? Except for like the pump track. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the bicycle stuff, but like Portsmouth just built a pump track, which is...
I saw Riversbend posted that. That's really cool.
All these Chillicothe, they've been all bailing Chillicothe all for the last 2 weeks and going down to the pump track. But like, why can't we do that here?
Yeah.
And so now there's a movement of...
we're going to have Jamie on here in a few weeks too, because he wants to talk about the pump track because they want to build one here.
Yeah, and he's been trying for a while.
And he's been trying, and so it's like, okay, let's get the momentum behind it because it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
We just got to find the place to do it and then raise the money.
Yeah. And
you don't want to do it badly. That's the other thing too.
Yeah. No, but this community's figured out how to do that, though. I mean, there are when people get behind the cause, the community comes out and they show up and they're there to support it and make things happen. And that didn't used to happen.
Right.
I mean, you go back 15 or 20 years, and there were lots of things that wanted to happen that just couldn't get the momentum because the community just wouldn't buy in.
Yeah.
But we see, okay, wow, that worked. This can work too, and wow, what does it do for the rest of the community?
Right.
With tourism and people coming into town. I have friends who are mountain bikers. I love to go mountain biking, and I ran into some friends of mine out at Great Seal. Jen and I were out hiking one day, and these two bikes come by, and I hear my name, Marty. Turn around, it's a friend of mine from Portsmouth. He's like, we're up here all the time because these trails are amazing. Yeah. And he's like, and I'm like, you got Shawnee's state park down there. He's like, yeah, it doesn't compare. Like you guys manage your trails so well, and so we continue to hear those stories. It's amazing. It's exciting.
On the flood walls, the same thing. I think lots of places have flood walls, but we've actually turned ours into something recreational, and that's now when you consider that the bike trail will actually take you all the way to Dayton.
Right.
Follow it correctly. That's crazy to think about, and people do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to people all the time. Hey, we did our long ride. Oh, did you go out to Frankfurt? Oh no, we went to Dayton and back. And I'm like, that sounds insane to me, but you guys go. Enjoy it. So.
Well, that's like the dog parks. We didn't used to have dog parks, and just in 5 years now we've got 2.
Yeah.
And because I remember people posted on Facebook, man, I wish we had a dog park, and now we've got 2 of them.
And people talk to me from other communities all the time. In fact, last week on the same day, I had 2 different people, one from up around Akron and another one from somewhere northwest. I don't remember where it was now, but they both came in on the same day, different times. And they're like, the one from Akron said, well, we went down to Gallipolis because we heard about Gallipolis. So we went down there for a few days. And we were just heading back, and we thought, we'll just go through Chillicothe because we've heard some things about it. We'll just stop real quick. It's probably a quick stopover. They were like, we could spend a whole week here.
Yeah.
They had a dog with them. They're like, do you have a dog park? I'm like, actually, we have 2. And they're like blown away by that. Like, we only have one where we live near Akron. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, it's just something that people decided to invest in. And, they said, well, I told them about the 2 different ones. One's a little bit more kind of like, out near the creek.
Yep.
The other one's just kind of a city dog park.
Yep.
They're like, we want to go to the one that's out by the creek. Yep. And their dog, I think their dog was a mutter. I think so. I think they were excited to bring him out there. So these are the kind of amenities that you do not expect from a Chillicothe. You really don't. It's funny. I see that dog park in Cincinnati there. It's kind of under the underpass when you go to like the Reds games or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see that one there, and I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool. That's a great little use of space. But then I think about it like it's artificial turf. Ours is a true turf, and sometimes it gets muddy, but it is what it is. We have those types of things that people, I think, really enjoy and want to get out in nature and enjoy. That's why you live in a town like this.
Yep. Yeah.
Close to all the hills, everything else. So
it comes back to being part of that community. And I think about your business. You've been in that location. How important is it to you and your dad to maintain that location and be? I mean, you're a cornerstone down there on.
There's been nothing in that neighborhood for. Minus the restaurant across Bridge Street.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really
7 Mile.
And the Mead. Yep. I mean, the paper mill's been there forever.
Right.
But it's hugely important to maintain that spot where we're at. That's how people know I mean, that's Allen's. People say that's Allen's, you know.
Yep.
Over by Allen's. Most people
it's
know where that is.
It's a landmark.
Oh, yeah. Every now and then we'll get people that are like, oh, I didn't realize you guys were still here.
Yeah.
You know? It's stuff like that because we are a little bit out of the way.
Yeah.
But I think it's hugely important for us to take care of, you know, that immediate community that we're in. Obviously, we all care about Chillicothe and Ross County, but it's almost like that South Side neighborhood is a forgotten area of town in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
you know?
that
like
southeast
we're not
side
downtown. People forget about us from time to time. Obviously, we've got a huge following, and there's a lot of people that know exactly where we are and tell their friends to come. But yeah, it's immensely important. And what my dad did in 2014, he did kind of a beautification thing with the front of the pharmacy there. Repaved all the sidewalks in brick, planted I don't know how many trees down Eastern Avenue, but it's basically from the corner of 7th all the way down to where it meets Hickory. So he's poured a lot into that neighborhood. Like our whole family has, but the neighborhood is taking care of us. So it's only right, that we take care of the neighborhood.
And he still lives upstairs, right?
No, he doesn't still live it. It's funny. A lot of people do ask what's upstairs, and it's mainly storage. I've got an office upstairs. The front bay window above the front door is where my office is upstairs. Yeah. So when you don't see me down in the pharmacy, I'm typically up there.
Yeah.
But nobody's lived upstairs for quite some time. We have a lot of people that ask if they can rent it out.
There.
Yeah.
I think G was maybe the last one.
I think she was. Jerry, who I took over for, she did the financial side of the business. I took over for her when she retired in 2018, but she stayed up there quite a bit because she was living in Cincinnati. So she kind of stay overnight. And
she'd work 3 days there and then have 4 days off. And I think she would stay every night in between her days that she was working.
That's amazing. And I think that's also kind of a tribute. Like somebody from Cincinnati will
drive here.
Yeah, drive there to that extent.
Oh, I did it for a year and a half. Obviously, I have more stake in it probably than somebody else. Yeah. But we've been extremely lucky with the people that have worked there. The people we've been lucky enough to be co-employees. Like WJ. How long have you been there? 12 years?
12 years, yeah.
How long has Joey been with you?
18, longer than that.
I think he's...
Is it 20?
20 or 20 plus.
Yeah, like it's nothing for us to
he's
just
an
be
old
like,
Joe too. We got to get him out of there, man. Oh, jeez.
But it's nothing for somebody just, I've worked here 15 years. Like that's the norm there. Kind of. Yeah. It's funny. Somebody new will come in and all the customers that come in immediately expect that person to know their name when they walk in the door, know what they get. You know, it's like that's just the level of service that people are accustomed to there. It's unfortunate for the new person that gets put in that position, but they learn usually.
I imagine you probably have grandfather, father, son.
Oh yeah,
like the whole family, mother, grandmother.
Yeah, that daughter. Is not odd for us. I think we're on our 4th generation with some families.
I think we're on our 5th. I think we're on 5th with a few families. Yeah,
that's so. We're very lucky. Yeah, extremely lucky. So
we have a lot of loyal patients,
and it's amazing how many people, if they're not even our customer, how many people have an Allen's Pharmacy story.
Like
your grandpa used to, on Sunday night, I broke my leg and had to go to the hospital. Your grandpa put medicine in the mailbox for me, or came downstairs and did this or that. Like stuff you obviously can't do anymore. Yeah. Right. But stuff that made an impact enough on people's lives that we've been at least a small part of a lot of people's lives, I would say.
Oh, no doubt.
Loyalty is a two-way street, right? I mean, when I go in there, I'm confident that just about everybody knows what scripts you write for me or fill for me, and knows if I get something new, hey, just so you know, you should probably do this, or this. And I'm like, oh, wow, you never waited on me before, but I know now. I mean, thanks. That's a special bond to have with your customers.
Oh, indeed. And that's what we have to offer that, CVS or Walgreens cannot really offer you. My dad says all the time, we're selling ourselves.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's one of the few things we have over those places. They have much more convenience than we do.
Yep.
Much bigger budgets, things like that.
Yeah.
We definitely beat them in speed.
Yeah.
I would say friendliness in a lot of other departments. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's just a different business for them.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I think that if you look at the center of your business, it is about your serving the families in your community, and the center of their business is not that.
Yeah.
And not that they don't try, but they're just big.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's things that you just can't do when you're a great big ship like that. You can't turn fast. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, there's just.
Sure.
Yeah,
all those
it's
things.
not a knock on the pharmacists or techs that work at those places.
No.
It's
right.
it's the structure that they're put in.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have to reach a certain quota and this and that, and they may not have time to learn your name, learn her name, things
know
like that.
everything that you have prescribed to you and so on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas that's one of the things that we put at the top.
Yeah.
Is knowing who's walking in the door, knowing something's different with their medications, things like that, and pulling them aside and saying, "Hey, let's do this. Let's try this."
The one thing they can claim is they have more as seen on TV products than you do.
many more than we do. All of them, I think.
I actually had to go and get cold medicine at like 8 o'clock at night the other night. And I went in there and I walked through the lane and I was like, as seen on TV, that must be like a cash cow for you guys. Cause it's like half a row of stuff. So, but it is what it is. Well, I mean, we say it all the time, but keep doing what you're doing. I mean, what you guys do is provide a community feel for a pharmacy in a community, and that's invaluable for a town like this. And doing it, I think your point, Kevin, is really, really important. Doing it where you're doing it is very, very important. If you think about what's down there, you got 7 Mile, you guys. You go a little further, you've got Jerry's.
Yeah.
You go down Eastern Avenue, you've got some other places like Noble and things like that. But they're not like service-oriented businesses like you guys where you're providing that thing. And, obviously Jerry's is a standard in our Chillicothe. Yeah. Like these are legacy businesses that I think there's not a lot of them down there. So it's really important to see you guys down there and do
Eastern
what you're
Avenue
doing.
Lumber.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of further
That's
out
a legacy business now too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're right.
And I think that's the other thing too, is that to see it turn over in the same family's hands. I think in a time when you're hearing people say, well, that the son or the daughter didn't want to do it anymore, so they sold it to somebody else.
And that happened with Taylor's IGA.
Yeah.
Perfect example of that. I was surprised by that one.
Yep. And so I think, the fact that you've been able to come in and sort of solidify that for another generation at least, and maybe who knows, you've got a 1-year-old.
I've got 2 sons.
Yeah, you got 2 sons. So like, who knows? I mean,
that's exactly right.
And maybe
See how much
they will
interest they
take
have.
your path. Maybe they'll take your dad's path. Who knows what they'll do? But at least there's a legacy there for them to grab onto and hang on to. So
and I have appreciation for your love of the history. Of course, we had some text conversations back and forth.
Yeah.
I was telling you about my childhood and going to the pharmacy there with my grandpa and living down the street. But like the fact that you got passionate about telling the history of the business. It's important to you.
Yeah.
And like, man, that's those are the stories that we want to tell. Like that's the whole reason why we did this podcast is because people need to hear those things because it has an impact and it brings a greater sense of this community we live in.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
3 things that people told me that I had to have when I came to town. I had to have a Jerry's Pizza, had to have a Sunburger, and had to have a milkshake at Allen's. Those are no joke. Those are the 3 things.
I'm glad we were on that list.
So, that's pretty neat. I mean, you're above going to the Cross Keys.
Yeah, that's pretty
so,
good.
That's a pretty good deal. So, well, guys, thanks for coming on. This has been great.
Yeah,
I love the history again. Other than having WJ here, it was a really good experience. So.
You knew it was coming.
Always.
Done, so.
That's right. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks
we
a lot.
were very excited to come talk about it. We appreciate it. We appreciate what you guys are doing. I love listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
personally.
these are great.
Thanks. We
Appreciate
appreciate that. That's
it's nice that somebody's shining a light on all the good stuff that's happening here and not.
We're trying to find the folks that we don't hear a lot,
Sure.
And I think that's important to us. And so if you got anybody else, send them our way. Because we'd love to talk to them.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it all